What's up, guys, and welcome back to our Clone Wars Chronological Rewatch. Today we are talking about the Season 3 episode, Witches of the Mist. It's the last episode in the Night Sister arc with Sivaji Opress and all that, which, again, I love this arc.
So good.
I love Sivaji. I like the Night Sisters a lot. There's a lot of good stuff in here. So in this episode, it starts with Dooku training Sivaji, which we kind of talked about this last time, but I don't know if Sivaji was Force sensitive before he was all like beefed up with dark side magic and stuff.
Yeah, I kind of guessed that it was the magic and he wasn't just innately Force sensitive, but
it's like it could be that, or it could be that you can be taught to be Force sensitive. You could go from like 0 to something. I mean, Sivaji shows some pretty great power throughout the series. So I don't know. I kind of like the idea that he didn't know about the Force at all. I mean, Luke didn't know about the Force, and then a day later he blew up the Death Star. I don't know. But he was clearly Force sensitive before that.
Oh, Gary's too.
And so I guess Sivaji Opress is as well. But he gets trained by Dooku, who basically like Force lightnings him into being good.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's a lot of stick, no carrot kind of training. He just like beats Sivaji into submission, which plays into the theme of this episode, which we'll talk about later. But he gets his first mission, which is to go capture King Chunko and bring him back alive. But meanwhile, Obi-Wan and Anakin learn that Sivaji is also alive, but Obi-Wan mistakes him for Darth Maul at first, which
racist.
It's like, yeah, like, come on, man. So I think that, and I actually saw someone ask a question recently. How did they know Darth Maul's name? Because he got cut in half. The Nemoidians knew. They were introduced to Darth Maul via hologram, and then they were interrogated. They told the Jedi.
Okay.
So yeah, they think Darth Maul's back for a split second, and everyone's like, Obi-Wan. And so they go off chasing after Sivaji, and they intervene in the kidnapping of Chunko, and Sivaji kills him.
Yeah. But
he still escapes with the body, and then Dooku's all mad that Sivaji killed Chunko.
Dooku's always mad.
Yeah, he is. I mean, that's the dark side. So he starts like Force lightning him again, and then Asajj shows up. There's a lot going on in this episode. Asajj shows up to, awaken the sleeper agent within Sivaji, and then they attack Dooku together. But that's really where I think the theme of the episode comes out. The path to evil may bring great power, but not loyalty.
Yeah.
And yeah, Sivaji breaks out of his spell, and then all three of them are just having a free-for-all fight.
Yeah. It just goes to show that you can't, like you said, the stick without the carrot. You can't push someone, or you can only push someone so far.
Yes. And the thing with the dark side, the Sith, the Empire, the First Order, they ultimately lose all the time because no one is working together. They cannot cooperate. The Sith are constantly trying to train a new apprentice to take out their master. And the apprentices are doing the same thing. There's no trust. There's no cooperation. Even the normal people in the First Order and the Empire are like stabbing each other in the back to get ahead.
Yeah, you can't run things using fear, basically.
Yeah. And that's why the light side ultimately wins all the time, because like in The Rise of Skywalker, we have this huge fleet of everyone that's like, yeah, we're not going to stand for this anymore. We're gonna band together.
We're not gonna take
exactly. it. We're loyal to each other. We want to help each other, and we are more than you.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it took him long enough, but
yeah, it did. But I don't know. That's a major theme in Star Wars, is that evil does not cooperate. Like even in Legends, that's the whole reason the Rule of Two came about, is because the Sith couldn't cooperate.
Yeah.
They even tried to like stop the whole Sith Emperor thing, and it's like, hey, we're all just equal Sith, like back when there were a ton of them. And it didn't work. It still didn't work.
It can't work when they're all trying to be the best.
Yeah, they all crave power. And that's another thing. I mean, like, we've been watching a lot of Lord of the Rings lately, but like the desire of power, like power just corrupts people. And when that's all you want, it never ends well.
So does that mean Frodo is secretly a Jedi?
Yeah, I think he'd make a pretty good Jedi.
Yeah.
He and Yoda probably would have gotten along.
He gets tempted a few times, but overall,
yeah,
prevails.
He passes the test. I think that's a pretty good comparison.
All hobbits in general, I think, are Jedi.
Yeah, I think so. They could be Jedi cooks. I think they'd fit in very well there. But one more thing I wanted to mention, at least before we wrap up this episode, is this is the one that makes the Republic Commandos canon.
Oh, yeah.
Not even the concept of them, but the 4 specific commandos from Delta Squad in the Republic Commando game. They needed some people to escort the bodies of some Jedi back to Coruscant. And the idea that Delta Squad did it was thrown out, and George Lucas was like, cool, let's do that. So all of those characters can be considered canon. They appeared in the Clone Wars, and we haven't seen them since. We've seen commandos in Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But just not Delta Squad specifically. So where did they go? I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about this episode?
I don't think so. It was a great arc.
Yeah. I guess we shouldn't. We just kind of glazed over the whole Darth Maul thing.
Oh. Yeah.
It's hard to remember because it doesn't come up for like another season.
Yeah. Well, Savage, like you said, snaps out of his spell, goes back to Dathomir, finds out Maul is still alive.
Yeah. Which is a shock to everyone. That's
what?
I was not watching the Clone Wars live when it was coming out. I was in college at the time, and
we were 21 when the Clone Wars came out, so
a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I remember reading that Darth Maul was still alive, and I was like, "What?" Like, I really kind of gave it the side eye. But then once I watched the show, I was glad to be proven wrong. Like, I think the Darth Maul stuff is some of the best things that the Clone Wars has done. So they knocked it out of the park. An idea that really didn't sit well with me at first, it succeeded. So kudos to them. But yeah, that's all we have to say about Witches of the Mist. Next time we're going to start the Mortis arc, so that's exciting.
Ooh, yeah, lots of fun stuff to talk about for those.
If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.